Hello and welcome to this YouTube installment of Into the Composer's Mind. This series of videos is intended to offer you an inside glimpse into the composition process. Today I will be offering some comments on the creation of my new choral piece, Hope is a Bird with Feathers. There are two thoughts that led to the genesis of this piece, a text I have been interested in for many years, and an opportunity to write a piece for the unique combined sounds of two choirs, one SATB and the other one TTBB. Let's start with my thoughts on how the sonic capabilities of these two choirs could potentially be used. Double chorus music was always a part of some music from centuries ago in large cathedrals, where each chorus would be answering back and forth antiphonally, often the same music phrases like an echo from different locations in the church. This was also popular at the time with brass ensembles. Double chorus music has also been written where two subsets from various voicings from one choir are utilized, such as full choir or solo choir. There is not so much in the choral repertoire for two completely different choirs, each with their own characteristic sound to perform together. You find some of this in the setting of The Mass by Leonard Bernstein. To decide which approach to use, I now turn to the text I have chosen, the beautiful inspirational poem by Emily Dickenson, Hope is the Thing with Feathers. The speaker in this poem defines hope as a feathered creature that dwells within the human spirit. This feathery thing sings a wordless tune, not stopping under any circumstances. This poem is kind of a hymn of praise, written to honor the human capacity for hope. Using extended metaphors, the poem portrays hope as a bird that dwells in our human soul, that sings come rain or shine, gale or storm, good times or bad. The poem argues that hope is miraculous and almost impossible to defeat. Furthermore, hope never asks for anything in return. It costs nothing for people to maintain hope. Not a crumb is in the poem. By extension, then, Hope is the Thing with Feathers implores its readers to make good use of hope and to see that it is essential and a deeply valuable part of themselves. People often ask me, where does inspiration come from? And what comes first, the chicken or the egg, so to speak? While studying the structure of the poem and thinking about how to portray it in this composition, I looked outside my studio window, and saw a large flock of starlings flying and landing, almost moving together. A small murmuration. Aha! The light bulb turned on in my mind. Why not use one choir as a murmuration and the other choir to tell the text and to intersperse it all with the distinctive sound of a solo bird? Final decisions were made to use the TTBB chorus as the murmuration and the SATB chorus to tell the story, and to have various parts from each choir to sing the solo melody at different times throughout. This laid the basic groundwork for the next stage of the composition process. I've always liked to have a general form for the piece clearly in my mind from the very beginning. An analysis of the poem showed 3 verses. Verse 1, an introduction of sorts to the nature of the bird. Verse 2 tells of how the bird can still be heard in the gale and the storm. And verse 3 tells how the speaker has heard the bird in the most remote parts of the world, and how it never asks for anything of us in return. This led to the form a variation of ABA, with the addition of a coda or an ending to wrap up the ideas in one joining of ideas from both choirs. This composition will also have a video of bird murmurations playing during the performance. So, let's get started writing. First decision to be made is a tonal center of some sort. This means, what will the main pitch be for the listener to focus on? Although it has the key signature of G major, the song is based on a 5-tone pentatonic scale, D, E, G, A, B. So it has that impressionistic, ambiguous feel to it, as to either D or G as being the focus point. This use of the pentatonic scale will be explained a little bit later. This scale was chosen to help represent the impressionistic pictures that murmurations often paint in the sky. Usually, notes and chords built on this scale are well within the range of most choirs as well, and are generally a very vibrant sound for most singers. Composers need to always be aware of the various tone colors and the various notes created when they are sung. This piece opens with a murmuration from the TTBB choir. To create this effect, lines swoop up and down, overlapping with a movement in tone from oo, o, e to ah, as the crescendo builds, each part coming in one after another. This is followed by an opening statement in a hymn-like style from the SATB chorus to introduce the title of the song, followed by another murmuration and another statement from the SATB. In bar 27, the tenors of the TTBB sing for the first time the Lonely Bird song that will appear throughout the rest of the score. Murmurations in the story episodes get closer together, leading to a tonal center changing to a brilliant B-flat in bar 39, with a small change in the pentatonic scale that was used. The idea of this change was to create a new, brighter sound, like a new murmuration picture in the sky. This has an accelerando associated with it, leading to the start of section 2, ending on a beautiful G major chord. Section 2 starts in bar 46 and represents the severe storm and the fierce winds, etc., that the lonely bird must endure. To create this effect, the TTBB choir randomly chants on various pitches in a tone cluster, using the text, "In a gale is heard," and later, "Must be the storm." And at some point, the Lonely Bird song is also heard in the tenor part. On top of these tone clusters, the SATB chorus continues to tell the story, sometimes echoed in an old antiphonal style by the TTBB choir. This was done to try to indicate how the lonely bird is still heard by all during the storm. Both choirs join in a murmuration and a lonely bird sounds through the chorus, and a large crescendo to the end of part 2 in measure 71 on a beautiful full range G9 chord. Section 3 has the SATB choir sing the secondary melody introduced before in a variety of contrapuntal ways. Contrapuntal means it's less hymn-like, with more one voice answering the call of another voice. At the same time, the TTBB choir sings the Lonely Bird melody in a variety of 4-part counterpoint as well. I chose a more contrapuntal writing for this part of the story to show how all the birds, as metaphors for our spirit, can work in harmony in spite of their individual paths. This part of section 3 then ends on a D tone center that we started on. The last part of section 3, starting in bar 86, was created to feature the important sentiment of the final part of the text, "Never ask a crumb of me." It returns to a slow 4/4 and has long, sustained, descending notes sung in the lower voices, using a D and A tonal part of the original scale in the SATB chorus. The SATB chorus, sung against it, has a short E-flat, B-flat tonal center. This creates crunches that resolve in a very soft, final open D-A chord in this section. This offers a short pause for contemplation on what the story means. Finally, there is a coda section where both choirs participating in a joyous reprise of the original murmuration, ending finally on another expansion of the G9 chord previously sung to end part 1, now expanded to a full G13 voice chord. The sense of hope is never lost. There is huge human capacity for hope, even in the depths of despair, to help sustain us. Indeed, the bird sings sweetest in the storm. This could be humanity's challenge in general, or your own personal experiences of grief and loss. Hope gives us the strength to carry on, and as the poem states, so many have been sustained by hope, and it would have been a truly sore storm to diminish the strength of the little bird. And the beauty of it all is shown in the poem is that it practically requires nothing of us. Hope costs nothing, not a crumb. Just listen to the little bird singing his tune, and we can make it through the hardest of times. Hope is the thing with feathers. Goodbye for now, and thanks for watching this episode of Into the Composer's Mind. You can listen to other past episodes of this YouTube channel as well. I look forward to my next composition and video of Into the Composer's Mind.